Hi and welcome to ECCB Connects. Access to finance continues to be an issue that small business owners across the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union face. What options are available to these business owners as they seek to expand their operations? On this week's episode of ECCB Connects, I sit down and speak with CEO of the Eastern Caribbean Partial Credit Guarantee Corporation, Carmen Gomez-Trigg, as she discusses some of the products that the ECPCGC offers to small businesses to help them increase their access to finance. Stay connected with us. We'll share more with you after this message.
When the ECCB took the bold step to introduce Dcash, the people of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union were at the heart of this decision.
It's about creating opportunities.
It's about connecting family.
It's about linking friends.
It's about changing the way we do business.
It's about transforming lives.
A journey to a place where none have gone before will not be without its challenges.
But challenges will not deter us from our goal. It's about me.
It's about you.
It's about all of us.
So join us and let's make history together.
Carmen, welcome again to ECCB Connects.
Thank you so much, Karina. Great to be here.
Now, a common problem that faces small businesses around the region as they try to expand their businesses is accessing credit, funding. Explain to us how the Eastern Caribbean Partial Credit Guarantee Corporation, the ECPCGC, is working to help address this issue that business owners in the ECCU face.
Okay, so the ECPCGC is a fairly new kid on the block. It's a new organization formed in 2018, 2019. We became operational in 2020. It's really designed to act as an intermediary between the banks, the development banks and the credit unions and the borrowers, so that they can have an easier way to get some credit to develop their businesses. So it's a strictly business oriented organization. So the World Bank and the ECCB did some research and determined that this was the best method for us to stimulate some growth and development in the business sector. So that's the reason for the corporation's existence.
So as you said, there was a problem identified throughout the region that businesses, as it tried to expand, that accessing credit was a difficulty. As the ECPCGC works, how does it benefit now the customer, those business owners? Okay,
so we have made strategic arrangements with most of the financial institutions across the 6 member states of the region. Those 6 member states have funded us to the tune of $12 million US. And we have made arrangements with the banks across the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, the banks, development banks, and we are now in a leg where we are admitting credit unions into the program. Now, we tell the institutions that if somebody comes to them and has a good business, their track record is good, they show signs of growth and development, and they want to get financing for their businesses, but because of collateral requirements, they are unable to access the funding. We come in and we would offer the collateral of up to between 80%, 75 and 80% of the collateral that is required for the loan. What this means is that if somebody would have been turned away because they did not have what you call in the Caribbean security, if they did not have enough security, we would come and we would fund the balance. We don't give the money to the business person or to the bank. We hold the money in escrow and we approve what we call a guarantee, which is an arrangement between ourselves, the financial institution, and the borrower to conduct this loan in a satisfactory manner. So that's basically it in a nutshell.
So the ECPCGC then stands in the gap where a business owner needs money the commercial bank, the development bank, the credit union has the funds, but because, as you said, they do not have this backing, the security, they can't access it. So the ECPC stands in the gap once they meet the criteria, and then they are able to access this funding.
Yes, correct. And you made a very important point about meeting the criteria, because there are some criteria that businesses have to meet. One of the main things that we encounter is that there is no separation between the business and the personal. We ask for that because what we are mandated to do is to grow the business, not the personal coffers. So where we see instances where there's a business who's drawing down in an inordinate amount on the business, there's a business owner who's drawing down a lot of money from the business, and so the business is stifling for growth, we would tend to ask a lot of questions because we need to make sure that the money that is provided, that we are given the security for, that it is put to the use of the growth and development of the business. The grand plan is that when these businesses grow and develop, that the national economies would also grow and develop. So that is our game plan. That's what we keep at the front and center of our minds when we are looking at these guarantee applications.
Now let's talk about specifically the products that the ECPCGC partners with the financial institutions to offer to these business owners. Tell us more about that.
So we have 3 products in our arsenal. We have the classic guarantee, which is what we started with in 2020. And that was when COVID was really, really rampant. It has parameters that would have been created in a better time when you didn't have so much economic stress. And so that one is one which would take a borrower they can borrow up to $750,000 on that particular product. It's really geared for the larger businesses because when we rolled it out originally, we had a cap of a $300,000 loan. And the financial institution spoke to us and we listened and we increased the maximum loan size. So that's the first one. The second one, which would have been rolled out in February 2021, is a working capital guarantee where businesses who are experiencing short-term needs for cash can come in and get this guarantee. And the limit on that one is $200,000. It's just for a 5-year term, because it's a short-term need that we are covering. It can be an overdraft. It can be if you want to pay some, back salaries, back taxes or whatever. Once the expenses are for the business, we would look at it. And the third one is a startup guarantee, because we got a plea from the participating lenders that some people had been laid off their jobs. They had a bit of money or they had a side hustle that they want to bring mainstream. So we have a startup guarantee for a loan size that is capped at $100,000. The startup guarantee does not mean that you come in off the street with an idea. We don't fund ideas. We fund somebody who is serious, who has actually started something. He's been in development for about a 3-month period. He can show us what he's doing. We would look at that. And all of this is done through our participating lenders. There is a fee for the program. 1.5% of the amount that we guarantee is levied on each client. And the term of the loan, we go for the classic, we go as long as the lender is going to give the client. For the working capital, we go 5 years. And for the startup, we go 10 years. And that's kind of it in a nutshell.
So you have a variety of products aimed to assist the business owners at different points in the journey.
Yes.
Are there, you alluded to some criteria initially about what you look for with the types of businesses. Tell us more about what the business owner has to bring to the table when they are applying for this assistance.
Okay, so the first thing, as I would have mentioned, would have been some clarity or some differentiation between the business owner, his personal business, and the business of the trading enterprise. So that's one. We look also for the registration. You can be registered as doing business as, trading as, partnership, limited liability company. So there's a range that we accept. We also accept non-profits. So that's it for the registration side. I need to pause here and say that some of our MSMEs are afraid to register, and we do have some institutions around the region who are going to be doing some training with them as to why they need to register. Because if you don't register, you miss out on a lot. You miss out on concessions, you miss out on government initiatives and so on. So the registration is an absolute requirement. The second thing is that your annual turnover, annual revenue must be no more than 2 million EC dollars per annum. And so that's the kind of where we find most of our businesses reside. So anything from 10,000 to 2 million, we would look at. The number of employees must be no more than 50 permanent employees. I think so far we have not encountered anybody with that amount of employees. So we are within, most people are within that ballpark. And basically that's it. That's basically it. For each different product, there's a little bit of differentiation depending on what product the client is looking for. But certainly those are the basic requirements for getting into the program. You get your stuff together, your registration. You must have some kind of history of the what your business has been doing so far. So some kind of transaction history, and you must know where you are going. What do you plan to do? What are you asking for this money for? What kind of expansion? Do you have an idea of what it's going to cost? Do you have invoices to support what you're going to do, etc.? So you must have clarity when you go to the banker. If you don't, they will sit with you, and they would, some of them would, not all of them, some of them would sit with you. They do have SME personnel who would sit with you and help you develop your idea, help you put it into a certain framework.
So once the customer approaches their commercial bank, their financial institution, and they ask about this particular product, then in addition to what you have outlined as some of the criteria that they need to meet, the commercial bank, the financial institution, will also have its application process for them to see if they are able to access this product. Now, Carmen, let's talk about the partners who are actually involved, those financial institutions across the region, that these business owners can actually access the guarantee that the ECPCGC is offering.
Okay, so we are present in the 6 member states, so I'll go country by country. So in Antigua and Barbuda, we have ECCB, Antigua Commercial Bank, Caribbean Union Bank. In Dominica, we have National Bank of Dominica and Republic Bank EC. In Grenada, we have Republic Bank, Grenada Limited, Grenada Cooperative Bank, Grenada Development Bank, ACB Caribbean, their Grenada office. In St. Lucia, we have Republic Bank EC, St. Lucia Development Bank, Bank of St. Lucia, and First National in St. Lucia. In St. Kitts, we have Republic in St. Kitts, St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank. In St. Vincent, we have Bank of St. Vincent and Republic Bank St. Vincent. So we have about 16 different enterprises across the 6 regions, and we are in the process of admitting the credit unions. They come under a little bit of a different framework, but we are in the process of admitting them as we speak.
Someone may ask, we did not hear, we know there are 8 ECCB member countries, so we didn't hear Anguilla and Montserrat. Could you just share why those 2 are not part of the arrangement?
Yes, Anguilla and Montserrat are under they are British dependencies, and what we have so far are the independent nations of the ECCU. However, the good news is that the ECCB's corporate relations and the governor's office are working to get Anguilla and Montserrat under the ECPCGC umbrella. So there is hope. It will take a little while, but yes, there is hope.
That's excellent news. That is excellent news, because as we like to say at the ECCB, when we do something, we want it to benefit all 8. So that's excellent news.
Yes.
Carmen, as we wrap up, where can customers or persons interested find out more information about this guarantee for small businesses?
So on our website, www.ecpcgc.org, that's one place. Also, at any of the participating lenders, the ones that I just called, you can go in and ask for the SME officer or SME loans officer, and they would give you the information. What we have done is we have sent out a lot of brochures to all of these financial institutions. Some of them have printed them, some of them are sending them out by e-copy. So there is information out there.
Carmen, thank you again for speaking with us on ECCB Connects and sharing about how the ECPCGC is working to fill the gap for those business owners in the region who are trying to access funding to grow their businesses.
Thank you so much, Karina, for having us on once again. It was indeed a pleasure. We look forward to doing another session with you soon.
Thank you.
My name is Kirian Clary. I am the owner of Tasty Things. Well, Tasty Things has been around for 5 years. We serve great wings, fish, pork, ribs, But when COVID came, things was a bit rough. So we went over to Bank of St. Lucia and see how they could assist. We met Mr. Stenbryce, who was very helpful. We were approved for a loan. Basically, I was just trying to own the caravans, so now I own them. We will need to employ more persons, of course, because seasoning 10 cases of chicken is not an easy thing. Now, what I plan to do is to, have a little expansion going, so we're going to have another location. Bank of St. Lucia has given us a service whereby we are back on track doing what we normally do.
We now present Did You Know?
Did you know St. Lucia has 2 Nobel laureates? Sir Arthur Lewis, who won the Nobel Prize for Economics in 1979, and Sir Derek Walcott, who won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1992.
We've come to the end of this week's episode of ECCB Connects. Today we spoke with CEO of the Eastern Caribbean Pastoral Credit Guarantee Corporation, Carmen Gomez-Trigg, about how the ECPCGC partners with financial institutions across the ECCU to help small business owners increase their access to finance. For more information about the products that the ECPCGC offers, visit ECPCGC.org. Thanks for watching, and be sure to join us next week when we bring you another program to share with you who we are, what we do, and how we serve you.